I, 33 female, have 2 children, tween male and female, with my ex, Liam, 35 male. 2 years ago, he turned our world upside down by revealing his affair in the messiest way possible, more on that in a second, and declaring he wanted to get married to his affair partner, Jean, 37 female. This led to me filing for divorce. My children learned of the affair before me. Liam took Jean to meet the kids outside of school, and he tried to tell them that she would be their new mom. He asked the kids to tell me they wanted to live with him and Jean. That morning, the kids left a home they thought was happy and safe with their mom and dad, and by the time school was out, Dad showed up with a strange lady and admitted he'd been cheating, even if indirectly, and they were getting a new family. I got a call from the school because the kids were distraught and ran back to their teacher after Liam pulled this stunt. Liam attempted to win sole custody of the kids during our divorce, and he declared his intention for Jean to adopt them. This was not well received by the courts. It led to some parts of our divorce being drawn out because he claimed that it made him eligible for everything accumulated during the marriage, despite my working for everything too. So he is known and has made an idiot of himself in court before. Liam married Jean right after our divorce was finalised. In the time that has followed since the divorce, and even since Liam revealed his affair, there's been a source of added conflict. When we were together, we involved the kids in celebrating and planning each birthday, including ours. It became a sweet little tradition where the kids helped me cook for his birthday, and he brought the kids to pick up my favourite takeout. We helped them shop for the birthday gift as well. He expected this to continue after the divorce and for Jean to be included. My brother took over helping the kids because they asked him to, but the kids don't do it for him or Jean. Liam claims I should be helping them do it, or I should make my brother help them do it for him and Jean. He claims this is parental alienation, my refusal to continue this tradition for him and Jean, or to get my brother to do it in my place. So he filed a motion with the courts, and we had a court date recently where he spewed all this nonsense. He claimed that we'd promised to continue this for each other, how he held up his end until I refused, etc., and that it was my wish to negatively influence his and Jean's relationship with the kids. I let him do his ranting and raving. Then I showed documented proof that he was lying, texts and emails exchanged about this very topic. Jean was also part of these rantings. They were angry, and so was my former mother-in-law after the judge dismissed the allegations, and both were scolded for foolishness. Former mother-in-law said I could have cut everyone's time down and saved their humiliation by just showing the damn messages earlier. To quote her, "Am I the idiot for letting my ex and his wife make fools out of themselves in court?" Not the idiot. I would have thought a judge would have had to listen to the appellant's full claim, and I can't imagine the judge would have looked too kindly on you interrupting. Former mother-in-law could have cut down everyone's time by raising her son to be honest, but hey, nothing can be done about that now. Yeah, in other words, what a laughably stupid, insensitive, entitled pair of cruel fools. I do wonder though, if your ex wants the kids to help prepare for his and Jean's birthdays, why doesn't Jean help them with this, and he helps them with hers? Because expecting you or your brother to do this is just LOL. He expects it from me and my brother because the kids' relationship with him has suffered since the big reveal, and they do not like Jean at all. So anything they do with them was not as willing, and they don't want to do the celebration. Hence, he tried to rope me in so they would be more willing, which honestly, I don't think they would be. It's almost as if your kids have their own thoughts and feelings. How could he have possibly planned such an unprecedented thing? Let him bluster from the cavernous empty space where his ability to see reality should reside. His absurd and asinine arguments before the court will only further help you and your kids escape that environment. Right? Those poor kids. Hi kids, this is your new mommy. Have a good day at school. What an idiot. OP, you handled it beautifully. Continue exactly the way you have. Your mother-in-law is only angry at herself because she just realised that her son is a moron and that you will do absolutely nothing to hide that for him. I, 28 male, am or was in a relationship with a woman, 28, and we had a child who's now a preschooler together, or so I thought. I realised recently that the child had brown eyes and we both have blue eyes. Don't know why it crossed my mind now, but it did, and it prompted me to do a paternity test for the boy. Well, the first one came back negative. I did have another one just to be sure, and the other was negative. I was devastated, but I kept it to myself for 2 weeks. But to me, the trauma of this discovery changed things. The feelings for my ex-girlfriend turned to hatred, and I don't know why, but towards the child, it's like I've gone numb, and I've resented any time I've had to spend with the child. I know the child's not at fault and I wish him no harm, but this realization changed something fundamental with my emotions. I've thought long and hard about this situation and realized I don't want to do it. I did not consent to raising another man's child. I don't want to spend years feeling like crap raising someone else's child. So 3 days ago I confronted her. She broke down and so did I, and she admitted she had a fling on her girl's vacation, but she didn't know I wasn't the father. She understood I wanted to break up with her, but when I told her I would seek to revoke paternity and break off contact with the child, she got mad. She said that I had a responsibility for the boy, that he loved me and that I should still be his father. I said no, and she got mad, so I felt I better remove myself from the situation and went to my buddy's house where I've been staying. Now, we live in Sweden and I know I can petition for the court to revoke paternity, and it's not like the child will starve or anything. We have a functioning social safety net. As for the relationship with the boy, I don't feel like I want one anymore. I don't know why, but my feelings aren't there anymore. I feel like I've been conned. As I said, I did not consent to raise somebody else's child. My buddies are all on my side, but my mother thinks I should consider the boy. So, am I the idiot? It's a sad situation, but with your feelings, you should cut ties now. It will be easier for a boy his age than when he's older. I don't understand how anyone can care for a child for several years and then walk away, but if that's how you feel, better for the child to have you gone. Do not just walk away without trying to tell the child goodbye, or you will be the idiot. Yeah, I can't help but feel bad for you and the baby. This boy loved you with all his heart. Your scent is his safety. Your arms are the safest place in the world. He may get over it soon, or it might leave a scar on both you and the boy. You should also consider your mother might be attached deeply to the boy, and cutting him off might hurt her. For years, she was a granny, and suddenly the baby is gone and she isn't grandma anymore. There are lots and lots of intertwined feelings. I disagree. She did the dirty and now she's mad she can't make OP stay and help her pick up the pieces. None of it is your fault, dude. She's the idiot big time. You've been cheated on and lied to for years. The only responsibility is on the mother and her fling. She created this mess so she can fix it. I don't understand this entitled attitude that you owe anything to anyone. My 32 female little brother Owen, 28, and his fiancée Ellie, 25 female, are not speaking to me and are on the verge of uninviting me to their upcoming wedding in August. This happened all the way back in December, but Ellie still holds a grudge and has brainwashed Owen from talking to me and other members of our family. He's also become super distant since their relationship began. It was about 9:30 p.m. on Christmas. My nephews were crying and unruly, my mum was getting flustered with the endless cooking, people were getting intoxicated and being loud, and my husband was extremely intoxicated and getting on my last nerve with his attitude and jealousy. I was just at my wit's end. Ellie comes over to our table with a dessert plate in her hands. Obviously, seeing that, I'm flustered. Don't ask me, "Hey Natalie, I can see you're stressed, do you need anything?" All she did the whole day was cook an appetizer, set a few plates and care for my brother who drank too much. Meanwhile, I've been cooking, cleaning and setting up with my mother since morning. My brother is always late and she doesn't encourage him to speed up or anything. She eats the dessert I spend so much time cooking and doesn't say, "Nah, these pastries are amazing." So I said, "Hey, it must be easy being a guest 3 years into knowing our family." Immediately, my brother came in intoxicated, trying to tell me off. I explained why I was upset at her for being unhelpful. Ellie rudely said, "What are you talking about? I can't enjoy a holiday." Then I told her, "You can enjoy it, but at least act like a member." She walked away from me and I snapped and said, "You know what? From what Owen told me, I bet this was much better than holidays with your family. You should go back to the trailer park next year and you can lay around whenever." She doesn't actually live in a trailer. If she did, I feel like that would be rude. I just said that because I had a rough night and she rubbed me the wrong way. I implied that she was trashy just because of her upbringing. She spent every holiday with us, as her family is a complete mess and she hasn't spoken to them in years. She's like the third generation to grow up without a father. The woman who raised her is living off social security and poverty in old age, and just a lot more. I must have hit a sore spot. My brother had a long conversation with me the next day. I haven't really spoken to them. I tried to apologize, but I just don't know what else I can do to make this right. So your husband wasn't helping because he was too busy getting intoxicated, and your brother also wasn't helping as he was too busy getting intoxicated, but you decided to take it out on only Ellie? There was no need to bring her family into it, so yeah, you are the idiot. I love the comment that her brother is always late and the sister-in-law does nothing to speed him up. He's a grown damn man. How is it her fault her husband takes his sweet time getting ready? It was clear that sister-in-law was the scapegoat in all of this. Opie doesn't hold any of the men in her life accountable for anything. Sister-in-law did the mature thing and walked away from Opie's tirade, and Opie still felt the need to scream out insults. Why do only the women in your family do any work? Why aren't you upset at the men who didn't pull their weight? Why should Ellie do more or give you more credit than your husband and brother? If you're bitter that you aren't getting support, did you ask the men for any assistance? Or sit and seethe and get passive-aggressive and then act like Ellie was the one with no manners rather than yourself? Doesn't sound like your mother raised you with any manners, so you are in no position to cast aspersions on other people. I have 2 sons, Robbie, teen, and Cameron, pre-tween. Robbie had an awards banquet for his team. The entire family went. Every year they have a raffle with various prizes. I bought both of my sons a roll of tickets each and told them to put in for whatever. Cameron really wanted a Lego kit and a remote control car, so he put in basically all his tickets for those. There was another boy there, probably a little younger than Cameron, who was running around and saying he would win the remote control car. Everyone would just smile and say, "We'll see." It's time for the raffle. Cameron won the Lego kit. A few draws later, and he also wins the remote control car. When the other little boy's parents explained to their son he didn't win, he broke down in a huge tantrum where he was screaming and crying. His dad had to carry him out because he was causing a disturbance. We were sitting with 2 other families at our table, and one told Cameron he should give the car to the little boy. Cameron said no. They looked at me for backup and I said it's his choice. I changed the subject. The little boy did return. He came by our table a couple of times but didn't say anything. He just stared at the car, which I felt was fine. Later, a friend said a few others felt Cameron should have given the little boy the car as he'd already won something. I said this is just how raffles work, and it's a good lesson for kids. There are times my sons haven't won anything from raffles or similar events. They learned young it's all up to luck. Keep in mind that I never heard from this child's parents. I know the mom in passing as our older sons have hung out a couple of times, but not that well. My husband wonders if we should have just encouraged Cameron to give it away. Am I the idiot for saying no? Not the idiot. A child having a tantrum about something not going their way is not your problem to solve. Do you really think I don't have a quarter for the vending machines? I'm trying to teach her she doesn't get a thing every time we leave the house, especially not if she's being a pill. See, the mindset of all those families that suggest you give the child a gift to stop them from continuing a tantrum is exactly how entitled children are made. Honestly, I'm glad you stuck up for your son. I hope he enjoys his car and Lego. I, 18 male, am a college student. I live with my parents still, but am preparing to move out to some student housing starting in second year. So I have this cousin, a tween female, who's been living with us since late last year. She claims to be a lesbian and she ran away from her parents because they just didn't like the fact that she was a lesbian. She's too young to know if she's a lesbian, but besides that she's a good kid and she really loves soccer and she's really bright in school. So I feel like she has a good future ahead of her. My cousin used to sleep in a room in the basement, but earlier this month she got scared of the basement because she had a nightmare down there. So nowadays she sleeps on the floor on a spare mattress in my bedroom. She does this because she told my parents that she doesn't want to be alone and that she wants to bunk with me, even though I didn't ask for it. Our relationship used to be good, but sharing my room with her has been annoying. I don't know when she'll move out of my room or if she'll ever get comfortable in the basement. I keep telling myself that I'll be moving out of the house this summer anyway, but the summer can't come fast enough. A few nights ago I got into a small argument with my cousin where I really laid into her and let her know that we're letting her stay at our house because we're good people. We're doing extra for her, but we choose not to go above and beyond for her anymore and send her back to her parents' house. Her eyes got wide as I told her this, and she couldn't sleep during the night after our argument. Am I the idiot for not wanting my cousin in my room? You are the idiot. She's traumatized from running away from home and being rejected by her parents. She's clearly trying to bond with you, and in return you give her the charity speech. Sheesh, I wouldn't be able to sleep either. You can mend this if you apologize and explain your struggles with guarding your personal space, whatever that means. Also, take the basement and give her your room if you can't share it at all. It's just for a couple of months, after all. Are we surprised by an 18-year-old being immature? Not the idiot. There's absolutely no reason for her to be in your room. Ask your parents for help in enforcing this boundary. A teenage girl should not be sleeping in a grown-up male's room, especially if it wasn't cleared up with you prior to happening. Enough is enough. She needs to go back to sleeping separately or moving in with your parents. They allowed her to stay. They need to support her. It's not your job. Plus, it's very uncomfortable for you, as I can imagine. I think everyone's the idiot here. Your parents are idiots for letting a tween move into your room, and you're an idiot for suggesting she might get sent back to her awful parents. Your parents need to step up and handle this situation ASAP. A tween isn't too young to know if they like boys or girls. That's ridiculous. Some parents in this world do some very crappy things to their children if they're not straight. You are being very manipulative and immature in handling this. Normally, CPS wouldn't let you two be in the same room. You need to talk to your parents about your concerns about stuff, and they need to figure out how best to help her. Get the actual adults involved, because you're just making things so much worse with your approach.